Good morning from Stockholm, Wisconsin, and Stockholm Village Park. Now, I came here thinking I was going to be doing a county park review because I found this on the county park website. I found it also through another site that shows county parks, and they probably got the same information I did. Started at the county site and looked at what campgrounds they list. But this one is a village park, which is fine. That kind of explains why when I was looking here in Pepin County for campgrounds, this one came up with saying, oh, we don't have a reservation system for this. Well, part of the reason they don't have a reservation system is we are on the Mississippi River. And some places like this on the Mississippi, sometimes the sites aren't available because the river rises, the river falls, and that's a good use for a place like this. So it's all first come, first serve. Now, before I get into the whole tour, I want to show you around the town a little bit. Now, all campgrounds along the river road have one thing going on. It's consistent along either side of the river. You're going to have train tracks going by. Now, this one has a big bonus. No train horn at this crossing. They don't blare the horn when they're going by. You'll still hear the trains going by. You still hear the rumble and the little ding, ding, ding from the crosser. But you won't hear the train horn on this side. I do hear it coming from the Minnesota side, though. I hear the train horns over there at night. And we're almost to town. All right, here is the town. This is the main heart of it. River road running through. Little side road here. Early morning, nobody's here. Post office. Little shops, little restaurants. Limited hours on a lot of them. The best one that I hit yesterday was Stockholm Pie and General Store, which is this whole building. It was amazing pie. But hour-wise, they were open yesterday, which was a Tuesday, but I believe they said they were closed today. Yes, Wednesday is their day off. So you have to know when to come and when to go. Amazing sandwiches. It was just an amazing meal. I still have half a pie left. I have individual pies for breakfast this morning, and I also bought a sandwich for later today for my lunch. So I planned ahead from them. I also had a shake that actually has pie in it. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. There's a lot of reconstruction going on. They're trying to, rehab some of these buildings, but there's a lot of little shops and restaurants and galleries, and it's really very much an artist town. And there's a lot going on here. Hop Dish and Vine, no, I'm not quite sure. Oh, Gastropub, Little Lark Bakery. Nothing's open. Got to come on the weekends, I guess, to catch all this stuff. But this is really a town gearing for the tourist tour, enjoying that river road, and not a town that's focused on just the bikers, like one I saw the other day. All right, and this will be a hint of what it's like when the train comes through. So one thing this town offers, and surprisingly, considering it is a very small little town and it's not very far, if you go beyond this in the town, you're going up the bluff. Not easy to get up to, and that's where people are living, is up the hill. All the shops are down here. But they offer this community bike program. Just take a bike, return it to a rack. There's a rack here. There's a rack on the other side of the intersection over there, and there's one at the end of the campground. So this is great for getting down to the campground and back up here. And I'm going to take one down. This is the quick tour of the campground. Now, straight across the river is Lake City in Minnesota. Now, what I didn't mention in the intro here was I'm also, not only, this is the Mississippi River, but it's also Lake Pepin. So this is a popular just tourist destination. This side is the quiet side, trust me. The river road was quiet last night, but when I looked across the river over here, that shoreline drive over there was just lines of cars on a weekday. So I don't know what it's like on a weekend over there. Got this nice little jetty coming out here. And what this jetty does is it gives you a, depending on which way the wind's coming from, there's going to be a calm side or a windy side, or calm side and windy side depending on the day. So you'll have an option if you want to come down here and kayak or something like that. There will be a calm side to do that. The winds were really kicking up yesterday and the sailboats were out here having a ball. And right now, we got the white pelicans out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them off the end of the jetty. And you can also watch barge traffic coming and going. Off the end of the jetty here, we have a little beach area and boat ramp. Looks like an old boat ramp here or something that's barely still there. And not quite a beach on the other side. Now this campground, I would say, is broken into 3 sections. There's the tent section, which also has the shelter, bandstand, and playground. And then there's one side section that is a little more carved up into little spaces, and then the section along the big grassy field with easily located sites. So let's take a look around and we can figure out where one is, and we'll start there. Okay, let's take a good look at the map here. So right now I'm standing up at the UR here, way up top there, and there's this cluster of RV sites. There's this cluster off the field, and then the tent section over here. And there may be 2 other RV extra ones over here if necessary along the roadway, but wouldn't really recommend those if you can avoid it. So we're going to start off over here. Now, when you come in, you think to go here, you'd want to come down this way. No, come down here, come in here, and then things like this are back in that way, or back into these, which are currently taken. Now, what I noticed immediately when I got here, there was 5 campers in this section, and nothing else anywhere else here when I got here. Those 5 campers, I haven't seen a vehicle or person at since I've been here. So the campers are just sitting there waiting for the people to come back. So, you know, people complain about going to campgrounds and just seeing empty campsites all the time because people just, you know, they can afford to just book extra sites. Well, here it's kind of the opposite. We got filled sites with nobody in them. But the rest of the place was dead empty. All right, so here, lift the lid, get your envelope. Oh, another thing to note, they will be closed the 3rd Saturday of July and at noon on the Friday before. Why? because this becomes the Stockholm Art Fair. This gets taken over by an art fair, so there's no camping available during that weekend. So plan for that. Don't come in that third weekend of July. All right, starting off here. Now I'm going to walk it the way I wouldn't drive it. I wouldn't recommend driving it. So one is the first site here. Very small space, short space. All of the RV sites have power, 30 amp hookups. Well, maybe 50. I'll have to double check that as well. So there's the little pad for this one. Oh, two, I don't know if you can see the color change, is right there. I believe this is 3. You can see they're just set up to be here forever, but are not here. 4, and as you can see, this is a back end, so you would want to be coming around the other way to back into here. This is the only restroom. It's a pit toilet, and also of note, throughout town, every business says no public restrooms. Every business. But there are porta potties all over town. Okay, site 6, pretty short back end site. Now, like I said, this is first come, first serve, so you can't reserve these sites. You just come and grab what you can. Let's see these 2 down here on the water. That's 10 and 11 over here. And you know, I mentioned that nobody's in any of these down here. The ACs have been running since I've been here, and it's chilly right now. Site 7, 8, 7's got all this space, so 2 pads there. 8 is this nice wide spot there. 9 is this big 5th wheel over here. And there's enough room that they were able to pull in and then drive out. This is the camp host with the AC running right now. Okay, construction trailers at 12, so something's going on, I don't know what. Then we have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, way down at the end. All just simply set up along the road, along this field here. Really easily laid out. Just pick your side of the power pole. Okay, 17, 18, 19, 20, and it's on nice kind arrow telling you this side of the power pole is your space. 21, 22, and I'm down at 23. I nabbed that one yesterday when the sun was still beaming in midday. It was in the shade. Eventually it was in full sun now. That's east, west, north over that way, and the river is to the south. Now, you'd think you'd have a potential for some good stargazing here, but I tried last night and there's just too many streetlights around here. I missed that site when I was giving the tour. There's an accessible site. Not really the most accessible bathrooms though. There is a community fire pit down here too, so if you want to join a group. And then finally we have the tent section through here. There is sort of a designation, signs telling you what the tent sites are, so at least you know where to mark down when you're paying your fee which one you're taking. And in case you're curious of where you are, they remind you on every bench what town you're in. Probably very good for the promotions when they're doing their art fair down here, that those show up in a lot of the photos from the art fair. Now in this little triangle here of tent sites, there's also, we said, the bandstand over here, playground, and shelter. And there was 2 sites over here for RVs, so I'm going to show you those if you get desperate. And all the other ones are taken for some reason. Yep, you can just park alongside here and plug in these two sites, and they are enough off the road that is used for a lot of boat traffic and community people just coming down to use the park. Now, if this whole, since it's first come first serve, if for some reason this whole park is full, there's another one in the next town upstream. That's not quite as nice, but it could be good for a night if you need it. All right, little story time about what I experienced yesterday with this playground. I'm sitting over across the way at my campsite, eating my pie, and a tour bus shows up. And it's an older tour bus, so it could have been a converted RV. I was kind of, ooh, is that an RV that's been converted, or is it actually a tour bus? And are we about to be invaded? Well, it was a tour bus. It was a tour bus of a group, a community of Amish. And they came in, kids just went off and played. And they set up the picnic in the shelter, and the older kids were on the bikes, running all over the place, and the younger kids were having a ball on this playground, living their best life. And it was an envious thing to see how these kids get to live their best life. Just having a ball, kids under 5 over here in the playground, no adult supervision, climbing on everything, and everything just seemed fine and happy, and freedom was there for them. I never heard a voice raised. I never heard, even with the kids racing their bikes around the bikes down there. There was more bikes down there yesterday. Racing the bikes around, they were still quiet. There was no yelling. There was, I don't even know how they knew it was time to eat. Suddenly everybody's there to eat. And, it was just unbelievably calm and joyous. And I was envious of those kids. I'm Gen X. I grew up with the freedom lifestyle. I got to just go out, get out of the house, go away. And that's what these kids live. And it shows. I was surprised at the youngsters being as free as they were, but they were doing just fine. Nobody sitting around hovering over them. Oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. No, they figured it out. They can figure it out when they're allowed the freedom to do it. So that's my story. So that's my tour of Stockholm Village Campground along Lake Pepin on the Wisconsin side. Really nice little campground. First come, first serve. So who knows if it's available, but weekdays, you got a good chance. Weekends, who knows what's going to happen. You may have bikers here too, bike camping, as in motorcycles or pedal bikes. So, and plenty of fishing. You got the boat ramp there, plenty of parking for your boats, if you can bring your boat and your camper, or however you want to do it. It's all available here. Listen to a train once in a while. I can hear the train horns across the river right now, but luckily they're never here, because those are so loud to wake you up in the middle of the night. And that is a normal thing on any of these river road campgrounds, to have this one shut down. It's a very controlled intersection. You can't cross around, can't get around the gates or anything like that. So they trust it, and that's nice. And those trains come by quick. So they're also out of here quick. Well, that's it from Lake Pepin. I'll see you in the next one, and get out and enjoy Wisconsin's county and town parks. There are some really nice ones out there. And now it's time for leftover pie. Blackberry raspberry. Oh, in case you're wondering, this pie says #1 in America, best pie in America. Well, I can tell you, it is better than the the pies from the Guilford House at Capitol Reef National Park that people line up for. Definitely worth stopping for.